Darci Lynn Farmer burst into America's heart like a breath of fresh air, a bright-eyed girl from Oklahoma who reminded audiences that magic didn't need explosions or spectacle. Armed with nothing more than a puppet, a powerful voice, and gentle charm, she transformed nervous silence into laughter and wonder. When she stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage, she didn't just perform, she connected. Viewers saw innocence, courage, and vulnerability all at once. Her win felt earned, joyful, and pure. But fame has a way of reshaping even the most beautiful stories. 8 years later, the same platform that lifted her into the spotlight became the backdrop for a painful reckoning. Now grown, Darci has stepped forward, not as a child prodigy, but as a young woman reclaiming her narrative. The voice once hidden behind puppets is no longer whispering. It is finally being heard. A quiet childhood with a loud dream. Born on October 12, 2004 in Oklahoma City, Darci Lynn grew up far from Hollywood's glare. Her parents described her as polite, thoughtful, and deeply shy, a child who often retreated inward. Singing became her safe place, something she did freely at home with her brothers, but never imagined sharing publicly. The thought of standing on stage terrified her. That changed during a small church talent show, where fear met encouragement. Around age 10, Darci discovered ventriloquism, an art form that gave her emotional armor. Through puppets, she could express confidence without exposing her anxiety. Inspired by past AGT winner Terry Fader, she realized that vulnerability could be transformed into strength. With family support and focused mentorship, she practiced relentlessly. What began as a coping mechanism soon became a calling, blending humor, music, and courage into something uniquely her own. Training, discipline, and early recognition. Darci's progress was anything but accidental. Under the guidance of mentor Lisa Bonoquist, she learned precision, timing, and control. Hours were spent practicing breath control, vocal separation, and character development, often in front of a mirror until exhaustion set in. Her dedication stood out immediately. In 2014, she gained early recognition after winning a youth scholarship competition and soon began performing at fairs and local events. Audiences were stunned by the maturity of her voice and the seamless illusion she created. In 2016, her appearance on Little Big Shots with her cowgirl puppet Katie went viral, drawing millions of views and national attention. That moment changed everything. Talent scouts took notice, media outlets followed, and her childhood transformed almost overnight. What no one could fully prepare her for was how quickly opportunity could become obligation. The AGT moment that changed everything. In 2017, Darci auditioned for America's Got Talent Season 12, stepping onto the stage with her puppet Petunia and performing Summertime. The reaction was instant and overwhelming. Judges sat stunned, the audience erupted, and within minutes she became a sensation. The golden buzzer sealed her fate, sending her straight to the live shows. Simon Cowell called her a once-in-a-generation talent, and viewers agreed. When she won the competition that September, she became the youngest champion in the show's history. To the public, it was a fairy tale ending. To Darci, it was the beginning of a life moving faster than she could fully process. Applause turned into contracts, and joy turned into responsibility. Childhood gave way to expectation almost overnight, and the pressure quietly began to mount. Fame at full-speed victory brought immediate momentum. Within months, Darci headlined her own national tour, performing dozens of shows across the country. Television appearances followed, from morning shows to holiday specials. A network-produced Christmas program placed her alongside established stars, further cementing her image as America's sweetheart. Behind the scenes, however, her schedule was relentless. Schoolwork happened on planes, rehearsals replaced rest, and every detail of her public image was carefully managed. Even creative choices required approval. Those close to her later described a young performer trying to keep up with an adult-sized workload. Complaints were rare, not because everything was fine, but because gratitude was expected. She smiled, performed, and delivered, while quietly carrying the weight of expectations that no teenager should shoulder alone. Growing pains behind the spotlight. As Darci matured, so did her desire to evolve artistically. She wanted to write music, explore new styles, and be seen beyond the puppets that had defined her childhood success. Yet growth was not always welcomed. Moments that appeared playful on camera sometimes felt uncomfortable behind it. Humor masked frustration. Praise became conditional. According to people familiar with her journey, attempts to discuss creative direction were often brushed aside. Being told to stick to what works slowly became suffocating. By the time she returned for AGT Fantasy League years later, Darci took a risk, performing without puppets and playing guitar instead. While some praised her bravery, others dismissed her evolution. For the first time, she felt unseen on the stage that once celebrated her. The disconnect was no longer ignorable, choosing to speak instead of smile. The decision to pursue legal action was not impulsive. It followed years of feeling unheard, dismissed, and emotionally strained. In early 2024, Darci reportedly confided in close friends about feeling creatively boxed in and personally diminished. She wanted acknowledgement, not conflict. When private conversations failed to bring resolution, she turned to legal counsel. Court filings referenced emotional distress and professional mistreatment without publicly naming individuals, a move reflecting both caution and gravity. For fans, the news was shocking. The girl associated with kindness and gratitude was now asserting boundaries. But to those who understood her journey, it felt inevitable. She wasn't rejecting her past. She was protecting her future. Speaking up wasn't an act of rebellion. It was an act of survival and self-respect. A larger pattern comes into focus. Darci's situation emerged amid broader conversations about reality television and performer welfare. Over the years, other incidents linked to the franchise raised concerns about safety, pressure, and accountability. High-profile lawsuits and production controversies had already begun to crack the polished image. While each case stood on its own, together they suggested systemic issues that went beyond any single individual. Darci's voice added a deeply human dimension to that conversation. It reminded audiences that behind inspiring edits and emotional montages are real people, often young, navigating fame without safeguards. Her story reframed the question from "who's to blame" to "what needs to change." In doing so, she shifted the narrative from scandal to responsibility, urging the industry to reflect on how talent is nurtured and protected. Stepping back to move forward. After filing, Darci retreated from public appearances. Social media went quiet. Interviews stopped. Friends described a period of exhaustion mixed with relief. Away from massive stages, she returned to small venues, performing simply with a guitar and her voice. The puppets remained stored away, symbols of a chapter completed, not erased. Public reaction was mixed. Some applauded her courage, others questioned her loyalty to the show that launched her career. Yet for those who watched her grow up, the transformation felt honest. She was no longer performing an image. She was living her truth. In those quieter shows, audiences saw something new, an artist no longer hiding behind characters, but standing fully as herself, imperfect and real. Finding her voice beyond fame. As time passed, Darci began writing original music shaped by her experiences. Songs explored themes of control, pressure, and freedom, reflecting a deeper understanding of herself and the industry. One unreleased track, inspired by her decision to step on stage alone, became a personal anthem of independence. Industry insiders quietly expressed support, and former contestants shared similar stories in private. By 2025, Darci's journey had become symbolic. No longer just a prodigy, she represented the importance of agency and emotional well-being. Her story wasn't about rejecting opportunity, but redefining success. The greatest transformation wasn't artistic, it was personal. She no longer needed permission to exist as who she was becoming. The truth behind the applause. Darci Lynn Farmer's story is no longer just about winning America's Got Talent. It is about what happens after the confetti falls and the cameras turn away. Fame gave her a platform, but growth demanded courage. Whether her legal case changes policies or not, she has already changed the conversation. She reminded audiences that talent deserves protection, not pressure, that childhood dreams shouldn't come at the cost of identity, and that sometimes the bravest performance is stepping forward without a script. The girl who once spoke through puppets has found her real voice, and it's stronger than ever. In a world that rewards silence, she chose honesty, and that may be her most powerful act yet.